In this tutorial, I'll be showing you the theme builder and the template parts. Not so much building the site, we would be here for days. So I've pre-built the header and footer and page content. We're going to set up these global parts: the header, the footer, the single page, the archive, the single post, and the 404. So let's get started. So here we are in the dashboard, and I'm going to hover over templates, and I'm going to hover over theme builder, and I'm going to right click on it in the Chrome browser, and I'm going to say open in a new tab. And so you see it over there, it opened up the theme builder here, and only in the Chrome browser do you get the opportunity to colorize your tabs and be able to know where parts and pages are. So I'm going to be doing that throughout this series. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose Add Tab to New Group. And the theme builder, I like to colorize this sort of fuchsia pink color. And that's how I know that's the theme builder. So I can jump back and forth into the theme builder. So it is good practice to be able to fill out as many of these template parts that pertain to you. So for example, sometimes your site is so simple it doesn't need a search. So if you have only 5 pages, then your site's very informational and it's easy to click through, then a search results page is probably not for you. So we're going to build our header. So I'm going to come over here and click on the plus sign of the header. And it gives us the library, and that's great if we need something to build off of, but I've already built my template ahead of time, so I'm just going to come over here and click the X and say no thank you. And so what it does is it gives you this generic header name, which will change. So I'm going to build my header, and for brevity of time I'm going to click the My Templates, and I'm going to come down here where it says Default Header. So I'm going to hit Insert, Apply the Settings, yes. And so there is our header. So, you build your header however you want to. Poof, bing, bang, boom, I've created the header, it's there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the gear icon in the lower left corner. If you're still using the old UI of Elementor, I have not turned on the top bar. I'm not using it yet, so I'm clicking on the settings, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put default header. Default header. And I'm going to say publish. And when we hit this button, we're going to get our publish settings of our conditions. Where do we want to display our template? Well, it's the only template header we've got, so I'm going to click Add Condition, and I'm going to say I want to include this on the entire site, every single page, every single post, everything is going to have this header on it. So I'm going to hit Save and Close. And that's just how easy it is. All right, so I'm going to close this, and I'm going to come back to the theme builder, right click, open in a new tab, and there is our default header. And it gives us a little picture. Now, if you're old school and you want to see all of your parts, everything that WordPress puts together, there's this switch to table view over here. Some people don't like the visual style, and they like the old school style of the table view, where you can see all your headers, footers, and archive, and all this kind of stuff. And when you click the Add New button, you're given the opportunity to name it. So I'm just showing you the alternative way to create your template parts and to be able to give it a name and then create the template. So that's just another way to do it. We are back at the theme builder, and we're going to now build the footer. So I'll click on footer, and choose Add New. And we know that I've already pre-built the footer, so I will come down here to my folder and I will go to My Templates and I will say Default Footer and I will insert it. And the footer is there and I'm going to rename it. So I'll come down to the lower left corner and I will rename it as Default Footer. And I'll take the number out. And I'm going to hit Publish and it's going to ask us about our conditions. Where do you want to display your template? Well, this is the only footer that I have, and so we're just going to hit Add Condition. Entire site works for me. If you need to include or exclude, we'll get to the exclude here in a minute to show you how that works. So that's good. I'm going to save and close, and we're done with the footer. Back in the Theme Builder, clicked on Single Page, and I'm going to hit Add New. And for whatever reason, Elementor does not have single page templates. So that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and click the X button, and I'm ready to create my own single page template. I'm going to create the header, and I'm going to add the template part. I'm going to go to My Templates and let's see, teal page header. That's what I'm going to add. I'm going to insert the teal page header and I'm going to hit Apply. All right. And it says Home. And I may not want Home to have this heading, and we're going to work on that. So in the meantime, I want some other header to show up. So if I come down here to the cogwheel in the lower left corner, the settings, and if I click that and I say Preview Settings, I can change Home to something else, like About. There's About, and so I'll click on that, and it will, as soon as I hit Apply, it will automatically load the page title. All right, so you're like, how does it know that that's the About page? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to dynamically make the page name show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just right click and choose Copy. Basically what I'm copying is the style of that header, and I'm going to delete it. And so all we're given is this space. There's two ways you can put it in here. And one is the post title, and you're like, this isn't a post, this is a page. I know. Or you can come in here and just grab a heading. This is the way we're going to do it. And there's text there. I'm going to click on this dynamic tag. If you're using the Pro version, you will see this. And when I click on that, we have Posts, Archive, Site. Oh, look, Page Title. All right. I'm going to click on Page Title, and there is, it dynamically pulls in the page title because I've already created my About page. And so I'm just going to right click and choose Paste Style. So there is our dynamically injected page title for the About page. And so here comes the technical method to the madness. There is a reason why I build my page templates this way. So let me explain. You would think that you're done. This is the About page template, and when you go to the About page and you put the content on the real About page, then some way automatically the content's going to show up. And you're like, yeah. Well, if we save this page right now, we're going to have a problem. And Elementor is going to tell us that we forgot to put the content widget on this template. Because who controls the site ultimately? It's WordPress. So WordPress needs to know where to put the content of the About page. So there is a widget. So if I come over here and I look, there's 10 new widgets here that have to do with templates. Post title, post excerpt, featured image, author box. You know, we've got all these very special widgets that only show up when you're on a template page part. What we want to do is we literally want to add the content. Okay, I know that it says post content. Just play along and believe me when I say that the content of the page will come through, and probably a lot of people ignore this because they think, I don't want post content, I want the page content, and there's no page content widget. Don't worry, just grab the content widget and place it on the page. I've already created the About page, and here is the content of the page. Now here's a caveat. What if at some point in time on the About page, I decide that I want to fill the page with something that is full width? Well, this container that holds the content right now, if we click on it, it is boxed. So I can, at this point right now, set to boxed. I can never have anything go any wider than the 1280 boxed content. So what I'm going to say is, to my future self, I'm going to prepare myself for some full page content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to say Edit Container, Change Boxed to Full Width. And as you can tell, the page that I created, the content for the About page, has a full width header here. I call it a flag. So my flag is full width, but the rest of the content on the page is boxed. Okay? So if I go, and you notice there's like this little border, white border. I don't want the border. I want it to be flush to the page content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, edit the container. I'm going to go to advanced, and right here under padding, we have to force zeros in here. So if I force a 0, it will get rid of that space because all containers have a default 10 pixel padding to it. So I remove that by manually putting in a 0 to all of the values. And so all of the content now fits. So you're like, but how does this section not be full width? All right. Just play along. I'm going to save this page and include, okay, so here we go. We know that we don't want this big header up here in the background to be on the home page. So we need to make the home page excluded from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete what's here, because what I like to do is I like to put the excluded parts first. So I'm going to add a condition. I'm going to change include to exclude, and I'm going to change all singular to pages. Which page? Not all pages. I'm going to choose the home page, H-O-M-E. And sure enough, the home page is there, and I'm going to say exclude. So now I'm going to add the condition for everything else. So if I add condition, add not all singular, I'm going to say all pages. So the first condition it hits is don't put it on the home page, but put it on everything else. That's what that says. So I'm going to save and close. So you're asking me about the content. How is this page, even though you set the container that holds the content widget, how is it that everything else is this way? So if we go back to pages and we go to the About page and we open that in a new tab and take a look at the content of the About page, it automatically puts in our single page template. What's in the single page template? this header that has the page dynamically filled in, and then this starts our content right here. And this light teal, it's boxed, yes, but the background, let me go to Style, and if I go to Color of this container, that's what's filling the entire container. But however, the content within it is boxed. So if I click on Edit Container and I go to Layout, it is boxed. And so if I go to this content, the page is white, the background is white, and then this container right here, Edit, is boxed as well. But if I decided, I'm just going to come down here and full width, and I decide in the background of this container, I want an image. I'm going to just choose any image and insert. All right, it fills, let me just go to default size and cover, and it fills all the way across. Why? Because I set the first container that holds the content widget to be full width. Any other content I add to the page that is boxed will be boxed. So I hope that makes sense to you. Now we can get on to the archive. So I'll click on Archive over here and I'll click Add New. And again, I have created my own archive. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to click on My Templates and I'm going to find the archive. I'm going to add the blog posts. And I'm going to hit Insert, yes, Apply. Notice that our green header is not up here at the top, and we want to add that. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this page because it's got everything in here that I need. So I'm going to hit Publish. Where do you want to display your template? I'm going to add a condition. All archives, that's exactly what I want to have happen. And I'm going to say Save and Close. Now I'm going to go back to the template builder. If I can hit it twice, I think it'll take me back. Yes. Here's our archive template. Let me just go back in here real quick and rename it to just Archive and change. I'm going to go to All Parts to get the header of the single page onto the archive page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the single page template and I'm going to right click and open in a new tab. All right. And I'm going to go back to All Parts and I'm going to click on Archive and I'm going to say right click on Edit and open in a new tab. So we have both parts open at the same time. I've got single page and the archive template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the single page template and I'm going to right click and copy this header, which does not include the content, just the header. I'm going to go back to Archive and I'm going to click the plus sign and I'm going to right click and choose Paste. Okay, now you're saying, that's a blog post, and you would be right on that. So if I go to Settings and Preview Settings, and I change recent posts to Archive, Author, Search, Categories, we don't have that option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to remove it completely. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose Copy. And then I'm going to delete it. Why did I copy it? Because I want the style. All right, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to add a regular title. And then I'm going to right click and choose Paste Style. And I'm just going to put blog in, oopsie, hey, if you can spell it, B-L-O-G. Because you can't pull it in dynamically. Why can you not pull it in dynamically? Because you're pulling in the post title. We have to come down here and choose page title. But we're curious. Yeah, It has to be a manual insert. It has to be a manual insert. So I'm going to delete it and just grab regular plain old text. I'm going to right click and choose paste style, and I'm going to manually put blog, blog, because it can't be dynamic. It will pull in the blog post. So we'll manually put blog in and we'll hit update. And so now blog has the blog page. And now we're going to create the single post template. I am back in the theme builder, as always, when we start a new section. And we are going to start with the single post template. I'm going to click on a single post. And we don't have one, so I'm going to add a new one. And I've already created a single post template. So I'm going to go to My Templates. And as you noticed, I always close this window, but guess what? We're going to click My Templates. All right, and I've got the single post header, and then I've got single post content. So let me put the header in first. So I'm going to hit Insert and Apply. Let it refresh. That's our single post title. And I'm going to click the Add Template again, and it's the S Post Content. So I'm going to hit Insert and Apply. And there is our single post template. What I did with the single post template is I made the post content. So this is the post title that's dynamically bound. And then this section here is the post content right there. That's the post content. And then over here, what I did was I just dropped in the posts widget and turned everything off except the title. And I changed the color. So now we're ready to publish our single post template. And it says, where do you want to display your template? Add a condition. Include all singular is exactly where we want all singular posts. All posts, but sometimes I have problems. I don't exactly know what this singular is. So I'm going to change this and I'm going to drop it down and I'm going to just say include all posts, because I have had singular do weird things to me before. So I'm going to say include all posts, just to be very specific. And I'm going to hit Save and Close. And that is updated. All right. So now we've pretty much made all of our parts except for the last one, which is the 404. So what is a 404 page and why would you need one? And does it help with SEO? Well, a 404 page redirects any broken, dead, or misspelled links on your site to a page, letting your visitors know that something is wrong and guides them back to your site, such as the home page. So let's build one. And for the last template part, we're going to go to the 404, and we don't have one, so we'll just click Add New. All right, and I will choose My Templates because I've already previously saved this. And it is 404 content, and I will hit Insert. And you can make your 404 page as wacky or as fun as you want to. That this is a consulting, Crown Consulting, we need to talk, 404. The page you were looking for does not exist, so you give them an option to go back to the home page or list some other pages that you would like them to go to. So this concludes the series on the template builder. If you have any questions or you get stuck or need to chat about the theme builder, go right ahead and leave a comment down below. I hope this series helps you.